I know. This is a topic that's been rustling some jimmies. It's been making people a little uncomfortable, and it's something that we're getting more and more conversation about, considering it's something that could happen. Now, of course, if you watched the Grammy Awards this past February, March, whatever month it was, I can't keep track of time anymore, you saw a collaboration between two things that really, at first glance, is a very one of these things is not like the other style idea. That's Metallica and Lady Gaga. And the performance kind of went on without a hitch, with the exception of some major problems that were chronicled in previous videos. The fact that Metallica wasn't even announced, and the fact that James Hetfield's microphone was just not working, almost as though the Grammys were basically giving heavy metal the big double finger salute. But now, ever since that performance, we've been hearing a lot of talks of a potential collaborative album between Lady Gaga and Metallica. And I'm here to tell you, that would actually be a really, really good idea. I know, you're not going to like me for that, but it's a really good idea. And I think it's something that should be done. And here's the reason why. Now, everybody is going to remember the collaboration between Lou Reed and Metallica entitled Lulu. It's something that has been significantly bashed, not only on this channel, but within the music media. It's a critically panned album, one that has not seen a lot of positivity to it ever since its release in the early 2000s. The one thing that has to be said about such an album, though, is that it was an ambitious risk, and it was meant to be something that was not going to fit the traditional mold of a Metallica album or even a Lou Reed album. Combining the two was going to cause a bit of a sonic cacophony that was going to only be really accepted and loved by very few individuals. And really, even then, those individuals may even have some of their tastes questioned a little bit. But overall, it was bold and it was ambitious, and it actually did fit the mold of the two musicians, with Metallica playing as loud as they could on a lot of the tracks throughout this disc, being allowed to improvise a little bit, and Lou Reed allowing his trademark weirdness to sort of shine through a little bit, and his poetry also. So really, at face value, it's a collaboration that was able to put some of the strengths of both of the artists together in order to formulate something that was a bit unique. In the same instance, Lady Gaga and Metallica would be able to do the exact same thing. And I think out of all of the modern-day pop celebrities, Lady Gaga would be the one that would actually, go for something like this. And it's not just because of what she did with Tony Bennett. That actually shows that she has a wide and dynamic range, which most of us already had an idea about, and that she wasn't afraid to actually go and explore that range. And plus, she's now at a point in her career where all of the things that she did whenever her career first started are now behind her, considering she is no longer involved with that talent agency and that manager. So she's kind of free to do a little bit of whatever that she wants. So why would a collaboration album with Metallica be one of those things that would work? Well, as you saw from the performance, she actually does have a thunderous voice that can boom right alongside of James. And the two of them collaborate quite nicely together, and we know that the concerts would certainly have a certain charm to them if they decided to tour with it. It's something where, also for Lady Gaga on a more simpler front, would allow her to just be in perhaps one outfit, not have to go through all of that, stage redesign and blah blah blah, instead just opting to focus more on the music, the dance, either that or whatever she wants to do, the headbanging and the crowd surfing. We saw the crowd surfing at the Grammys, and hey, why not see that again? That would certainly be something that's really cool. But the album itself, I think, would be one that would not exactly do what many people, I think, are fearful of. I think they're fearful that Metallica, with their heavy metal side, would actually be really pushed into being a little bit more poppy and a little bit more sonically accessible than they already are. Now, granted, they already do have a certain accessibility to them. And I just don't think that that's going to be the balance or the way in which it works out. I don't see this being something where Metallica has to sacrifice more of who they are to accommodate Lady Gaga. I see it actually more as the other way around, where Lady Gaga sacrifices that pop side and does something with a lot of more of a heavier edge, and does so very willingly. And I think that together they could actually write some pretty damn good music. James's lyricism over the course of the past couple of albums has certainly been lacking. And Lady Gaga, her lyricism, for what it is, certainly has a certain charm to it. Now, you put them together with perhaps a team, either that, or you let Lady Gaga handle some more of the lyricism and give her the theme of let's not make these 17,000 love songs or feminine empowerment or hey, I wore a meat dress a number of years ago. Just make it something that has the tone to it. You know, have it be the expression of self. Have it be the expression of collaboration. Have this truly be a two-person endeavor. And have her simply be just like a secondary voice that's inside the studio with them. It would be basically a Metallica studio album with Lady Gaga at the helm right next to James. It would be a dual vocal. It would almost be like Metallica turned into Lacuna Coil. We're just not sure what era it would be. Yeah, set me free, your heaven's a lie. She's not exactly Christina. But hey, just think about it for a second. I think a lot of people are blowing smoke about this because it's a pop princess, or at least a former diva, that is going to be infecting the halls of heavy metal. Even though it's been plainly seen and shown and discussed that Lady Gaga has had an affinity for heavy metal for a long period of time. Now, does this have the opportunity to get completely out of control and out of hand? Is the potential for the sheer advertising and marketing campaign for this and the overall scope of the music to just get so out of control that this will fail miserably? Of course! There's always that potential. Anytime that you drop anything of artistic worth, there is that potential for failure. There's that potential that it's just not going to resonate with people. And I'm not sitting here trying to tell you to change your beliefs simply because I'm telling you to change your beliefs. No. But I think that this is something where Metallica is at the portion of their career where, why the hell not? Lady Gaga is at a portion of her career where, why the hell not? It's a why the hell not perfect match made in heaven possibility. Think about whenever Robert Plant was able to collaborate with Alison Krauss, for example. The works were very, very different from what you would expect from Plant and from Strauss, but the two came together to make a match made in heaven that actually, you know, for those who are fans of classic rock and a little bit of folk, really came together so very nicely, and it became a really classic album, a classic idea, something that actually led to collaborations afterward. Think about all of the other collaborations that potentially have, you know, done some great things for musicians, perhaps the ones that you see on individual tracks and you sort of long for an entire album. Think about all of those legendary matchups that you wish could actually exist. Maybe you would love to see members of Marduk go one-on-one with, you know, Isan, either that or somebody else. Maybe this is something where it is a match made in heaven for a lot of people and they might get it. And maybe this will encourage other matchmates in heaven like that to take place. And we've seen a lot of those in supergroups. What's the difference between a supergroup and this? There isn't any. So if this is an album that potentially could see the light of day in 2019, as has been potentially suggested, I think this is something that should be embraced until we hear what is actually within it. I don't get what the big idea is already damning this idea before we even know anything about it. Or before we even know whether or not this was a serious declaration, or something that was just done to blow a little bit of smoke up some reporters' asses. I don't know what you think about this. What do you think about the potential of Metallica and Lady Gaga collaborating for a full-length album that could be released in 2019? What do you think about why it would succeed, that it was just presented? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys out for some of the streams here in April, considering we have a great cause going for them. It's a 50-50 charity stream, and it's helping out the one-of-a-kind pet shelter and rescue that's in Akron, Ohio. This is a facility that's able to help out animals that are, or that were, should I say, on the death row, and were taken by one-of-a-kind pets off of death row so they could have a second chance at finding a home and being adopted. All while being in a progressive, fantastic facility. One of the cleanest facilities that I've ever seen, one of the best facilities I've ever seen. They are driven completely by donations. Let's help them out a little bit. There's a link in the description box below. So let me know your opinion, and I'll talk to you guys next time whenever we examine another question of why for something completely different. I'm CoverKiller Nation. Take care.